In the year 2043, a devastating and highly contagious disease begins to claim the lives of children and teenagers across the United States. This affliction is particularly lethal to the younger population while sparing adults. As a result, 98% of children and teens succumb to the illness, leaving only 2% of children as survivors. These survivors, however, develop abnormal abilities, making them potentially dangerous. Faced with this crisis, the government urges parents to surrender their surviving children to a camp for treatment and research. President Gray, the leader of the country at that time, claims that his son, Clancy, has also survived the disease and is undergoing treatment at one such camp, showing signs of improvement. Within these camps, doctors and scientists categorize the children and their newly acquired abilities into 5 distinct groups based on their abilities. The greens exhibit enhanced intelligence, the blues possess telekinetic powers, and the golds can manipulate electricity. These first 3 groups are considered relatively safe and are treated within the camps. However, the 4th group, known as the reds, can control fire, and the 5th group, the oranges, can manipulate the thoughts of others. These latter 2 groups are considered highly dangerous, prompting the government to order their immediate execution upon sight. The story introduces a young girl named Ruby, who is celebrating her birthday with her parents in a world where children around her are succumbing to the disease. The parents, deeply concerned, are relieved that Ruby remains unharmed. However, a strange incident occurs when Ruby holds her mother's hand at night, leading to a peculiar vision. The following morning, Ruby's mother fails to recognize her as her child and contacts the government to take Ruby to a healing camp. Ruby is subsequently transported to one of these camps, where every child undergoes an examination to determine the nature of their abilities. Ruby's examination reveals that she belongs to the most dangerous group, the oranges, which can manipulate people's thoughts. Consequently, the doctor immediately plans to administer a lethal injection. To save herself, Ruby seizes control of the doctor's mind and convinces him that she is actually a green, a group characterized by exceptional intelligence and deemed non-threatening. In this camp, children are organized into 3 groups: greens, blues, and golds. The reds and oranges are not present because they are systematically executed on sight. Ruby adapts to her new life as a green, and 6 years pass. During this time, she incurs the wrath of the camp captain, who perceives her as less intelligent than the others, raising suspicions about her true nature. However, her campmate defends her and faces punishment, intensifying the camp captain's animosity towards Ruby. Later in the camp, frequent frequency tests are conducted, emitting loud sounds only audible to children. During one of these tests, Ruby loses consciousness and is taken to a doctor named Dr. Kate for further evaluation. It is during this examination that Ruby's true nature as an orange is discovered. In secret, Dr. Kate informs Ruby of their discovery and the imminent danger she faces. The doctor instructs Ruby to meet her in the boiler room. Panicked, Ruby rushes to the designated location. As an alarm sounds, officers are dispatched to apprehend her. With Dr. Kate's assistance, Ruby manages to escape using the doctor's car. At a checkpoint, she is nearly apprehended but utilizes her power to control the officer's mind, allowing her to evade capture. After 6 years, Ruby escapes from the camp. In the car, Dr. Kate provides Ruby with a panic button that can serve as a tracker in case of danger. Kate reveals her affiliation with the Children's League, a group committed to rescuing children from the camps and challenging the government. Kate then escorts Ruby to a gas station to meet her boyfriend Rob, who shares the mission of rescuing children. When Ruby briefly grasps Rob's hand, she has a vision suggesting that he may mistreat children. Consequently, Ruby becomes wary of their intentions. While changing her clothing in a shop, Ruby encounters a young girl who can manipulate electricity. The girl flees upon seeing Ruby, prompting her to give chase. This girl is named Zoo, and her abilities have left her mute, necessitating the constant use of gloves. Zoo is accompanied by 2 friends, Liam, a blue with telekinetic powers, and Charles, a green known for his intelligence. Together, they decide to join Ruby and aid in her quest to escape from Dr. Kate and the camp. On their journey, they encounter a persistent woman named Lady Jane, who pursues them relentlessly. Lady Jane is a child hunter driven by financial incentives. Simultaneously, Dr. Kate also chases them, creating a tense pursuit. However, Liam, with his telekinetic abilities, counteracts their pursuit by causing leaves to scatter, roads to crack, and even trees to fall. This clever strategy allows them to successfully evade their pursuers. As the group travels further, they grow closer and begin to bond, yet Ruby keeps her true identity as an orange secret, claiming to be a green instead. Liam reveals that they are on their way to the East River, aiming to join a group of children led by the mysterious figure known as the Slip Kid. While the Slip Kid's identity remains shrouded in mystery, it appears he possesses orange abilities that allow him to control minds. Liam also exposes the truth about the Children's League, led by Dr. Kate, and its less-than-ideal conditions. He once belonged to the League, which trained children to wield their powers against the government, but he disliked the idea of becoming a soldier and eventually left. Their journey leads them to an inn where they spend the night, prompting Ruby to reflect on her past and the difficulty she had controlling her abilities. As a child, she accidentally erased her parents' memories, leading to an emotional revelation. In a surprising twist, Ruby accidentally touches Zoo's hand during sleep and experiences a memory related to Zoo's time in a government camp, her subsequent rebellion alongside hundreds of other children, all led by Liam. This traumatic experience left Zoo mute. The group continues its journey, stopping at an abandoned mall to stock up on supplies. They revel in this moment, cherishing a taste of a normal childhood that has been largely denied to them. Unexpectedly, they experience a sudden loss of control over their bodies as another group of children, also possessing telekinetic abilities, manipulates them. Fortunately, Zoo intervenes with her electric power, putting a stop to the external control. These newly encountered children reveal that they know about the association in the East River, but cannot divulge the exact location due to the secrecy surrounding it. Ruby uses her telepathy discreetly to glean a clue, namely the letters EDO related to the location. The brilliant Charles attempts to decipher the significance of EDO, but initially draws a blank. After a conversation with Ruby about her father being a police officer, Charles begins to suspect that EDO might represent a radio frequency. He interprets E as 5, D as 4, and O as 0, leading to the number 540 as the presumed radio frequency. They eventually receive a message on this frequency, revealing that the location is Lake Prince, Virginia. While traveling on the road, they are ambushed by Lady Jane, the child hunter, who uses a sound frequency from her rifle to incapacitate the children. In a remarkable turn of events, Ruby harnesses her powers to manipulate Lady Jane's mind, subjecting her to a deserving punishment. This revelation stuns Liam and the others, as Ruby had concealed her orange abilities from them. At a later point, Ruby confides in Liam about her past, and their relationship deepens, eventually blossoming into a romantic connection. The group continues their journey and arrives at Lake Prince, Virginia. There, they encounter other children with abilities, a sight they haven't witnessed in a long time. Surprisingly, the Slip Kid is revealed to be Clancy Gray, the son of the president, and another orange like Ruby. The group celebrates with a party. In the morning, they are assigned tasks, with Ruby tasked to assist Clancy. Clancy discloses his role in surviving the deadly disease and how the government used him for experiments to find a cure. Their efforts failed, and his father, the president, misled the public about a successful cure. As a result, Clancy escaped and founded a safe haven for children with abilities. He instructs Ruby on controlling her powers and manipulating minds without physical contact. In return, Ruby teaches him how to erase memories. However, during the process, Clancy attempts to take advantage of her, leading to a confrontation in which Ruby rebuffs his advances. Ruby and her friends eventually decide to leave the safe haven, but they are ambushed by camp troops while on the run. Liam attempts to fight back, but he suddenly falls unconscious. It's revealed that Clancy orchestrated Liam's unconsciousness and has been the mastermind all along. Clancy contacted the camp captain to apprehend the children, manipulating his father, the president, and taking control of the government. His ultimate goal is to create an army of children with superpowers to ensure he is never abused. Ruby uses her power to make the camp captain take his own life, and Zoo manipulates electricity to facilitate their escape. Armed forces arrive via helicopters to apprehend the children. These troops are accompanied by the red group of children who can control fire, revealing they were secretly weaponized by the government. The camp goes up in flames as a battle unfolds. The red group attempts to harm Liam and his friends, but Liam fights back with his powers. However, Clancy intervenes in the midst of the battle, manipulating the minds of all the children present. Ruby is left behind as the only one capable of confronting Clancy. She forms her own army of children only for Clancy to control their minds and force them to shoot each other. Clancy attempts to use his new memory-erasing powers to win Ruby over to his side, causing her to forget her friends. Ruby uses her power to take control of the pilot's mind, causing the helicopter to crash and explode. Ruby narrowly escapes the explosion, assisted by Charles. Sadly, Charles is severely injured and burnt, leaving Ruby with no option but to use her panic button to summon the Children's League for assistance. The following morning, the League arrives to rescue them. Charles is rushed to the hospital for treatment, and Zoo finds a loving family to be a part of. However, Liam is arrested by the League due to his prior betrayal, as he knows too much about the organization. Ruby strikes a deal with Kate, promising to join the League as a soldier and fight against the government in exchange for Liam's release. Kate is skeptical that Liam will leave without Ruby and won't allow her to join the League. Ruby finally meets with Liam, who expresses a desire for them to remain together and plan for their future. Regrettably, Ruby is compelled to erase herself from Liam's memory to secure his release and her own entry into the Children's League. All memories of Ruby from their initial meeting in the van, their conversations, and their romantic dance are erased from his mind. Liam no longer remembers anything about Ruby, leaving her heartbroken. In the end, Ruby begins training with the Children's League, but the challenges continue. Clancy remains alive, setting the stage for an inevitable and fierce confrontation between the two sides. The struggle of Ruby and her friends is far from over, promising further twists and turns in their story. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.